call me baby. I'm not your baby.
Nah, you're not triggering me like that. That was, Shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. I am Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week. We expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Now, when we were last here, I was admonishing the intentional poor spelling involved in all the recreations of "I will vote for Donald Trump."
Somebody help me. Internet, do you see what you've done? Every time I see a Hispanic person now, I sing immediately in my mind, "I will vote for Donald Trump." I gotta stop, it's not right.
But it occurred to me that I actually missed a few nominations, starting with the MAGA, who illuminated the misidentification of the singer of that song in the footage. Y'all remember her?
I found a side-by-side that someone made. I'm sorry. Those do not look like the same people to me. Who sang that song anyway? It turns out the name of the band is Los Tres de la Habana. And their own website, okay, says the singer's name is Ana Paez.
Well, one thing became abundantly clear. Somebody is far less familiar with Latin culture than apparently all the people recreating that song. How did she pronounce her name? Ana Paez? Is Ana Paez and Janet Correa? Yeah, if you're going to butcher my name like that, don't vindicate me. You know what I mean? Don't vindicate me and have me sounding like Ana Paez. And even when she found out that it was spelled with a Y, as opposed to, Yanet, anything, Yanet. She went with Yanet.
Oh, look, Miami NBC said the woman's name isn't even Janet. It's Yanet. It's Yanet.
I don't think there's a single person walking the face of this planet who pronounces their name Yanet. Huh? Janet Jackson? Get out. You could tell she's the kind of person who goes on vacation and speaks English and then drops muy importante in the middle of everything.
Muy interesante.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't dig into the emotions underlying all of that mockery. And it took me less than half a second to get to this ongoing conversation between the Black and Latino community, whereas the Black community feels like they're being targeted and blamed by the Latino community for not standing 10 toes down in the streets, which is ill-advised.
How can you lack so much compassion? What if your mom, your dad, was immediately just taken from you as a white person, as a Black person, as anyone? How can you just accept that? This is not, fuck, bro. This is so unreal, and how can people just lack compassion? How? Why can't you just imagine yourself just waking up one day with your family not there anymore? So LA businesses are getting raided by ICE, or some people that are wearing stuff that says ICE on it with their faces all covered up. People are getting ran over. Shots are being literally fired, literally. And this is supposed to be life right now. We're not going to get treated like humans because they don't see us like humans. They lack compassion. How can you lack compassion? How? I understand that you're trying to get criminals out. Why are you going to work workplaces where people are just trying to work. That doesn't make sense.
See, no, we weren't. She was just saying, as a white person, as a black person, why can't you feel basic human empathy? She was not specifically targeting us or saddling us with any additional responsibilities. She was just advocating for basic human empathy and dignity, such as I and so many others were doing all of last year and continue to do. Yeah. If that basic empathy was as universal as she is pushing for it to be, and I support her in that aim, but if it was as universal, we wouldn't be here.
Don't call me baby. I'm not your baby.
Nah, you're not triggering me like that. That was
To those stating, it is not my fight. This is why this country is in the position that it is today. The color of my skin should not matter. Whether I'm brown, black, purple. This is a humanitarian issue. We are in this position because there is no unity. We are not united. If anything, the other side, the one thing they're good at is uniting together. I want you to understand that hatred and racism is something that is taught. We are not born like that. There has never been a thought in my mind that said my voice didn't matter. Because together, we can move mountains. The National Guard is in LA. You think if your voice didn't matter? You think if unity didn't matter? There would be so much commotion? No. Mi gente, we are stronger together. It doesn't matter what color you are or where you come from. This is not a fight for just one. This is a fight for all.
You know, that is a pretty good message. That sounds a lot like the message that Kamala Harris was pushing last year, doesn't it? Yeah, that sounds a lot like the message that Kamala Harris was pushing last year. I supported it then, and I support it now. But it was deeply unpopular to some last year for a curious reason. So I have to ask, because this idea of uniting, right? That was something that was apparent to a great number of us who were not in the immediate crosshairs of the Trump administration. I say immediate crosshairs because we always in it somewhere, but not in the immediate crosshairs of the Trump administration. The idea of empathy, as the first woman brought out, the idea of uniting was something that I could get behind and advocate for. And y'all said, I know black. You know, I mean, that was you couldn't have Kamala Harris lead the charge. So I guess you want us there, just not in the front. I guess maybe that's what it is. Oh, they do want us in the front.
You know what's crazy to me, bro, is when they had the BLM protest, everybody was popping out. Every celebrity, YG, the Ball brothers, everybody was popping out. Where's that now? Where are the celebrities now? Where are they protesting now? Where are the teens now? Why is nobody speaking up? Even Kendrick Lamar made a song. Lil Baby made a song. But where's everybody now?
Oh, Dr. Umar, you want it? You got it.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Where's J-Lo? Where's Bad Bunny? Where's Maluma? Where's Shakira? Talk to your own people. Because J-Lo was just up on the pulpit at the inauguration doing this.
Y justicia para todos. Let's get love.
No matter what happens in this country, everyone under that POC umbrella always finds a way to put the focus back on Black people. Obviously, we understand what's going on right now with the ICE raids that are going on in America and Los Angeles, to be specific. But there have been a lot of Latino people coming online asking about Black celebrities and Black people showing up and comparing this event to BLM. Now, don't get me wrong. We were home during the pandemic. People had no jobs. People weren't in the office. And yes, Black people, Black celebrities, Black businessmen showed up for Black people. corporations and teams that had Black people on them showed up for their Black constituents and their Black workers. As it currently stands as demographic, there are more Latinos in America than there are Black people. And half of that population voted for what's going on right now. Speak to your own population. Stand up for yourself with each other. Talk internally about how you're so disjointed between the Central and South Americans and the Caribbean people in the East Coast. Talk to each other. Why are you looking for Black people to put you guys on a pedestal and go fight for you when this is also your fight, primarily your fight?
Now, it is a fight that is ultimately everybody's fight, which is why we were advocating the way that we were last year and continue to do so. But the idea that you go outside first, the one thing that he said, talking about the focus being put back on Black people, I can't imagine making a long distance call before you go downstairs and see what the deal is. You know what I mean? My mama used to tell me, I'm not his mama. Okay, I ain't James's mama. I don't care what they got going on over there. We gonna get our house straight first. And you doing it all. So start with the kitchen. That's what she used to tell. You going all the way across the street.
Black Lives Matter was our fight, but we speak up for ourselves. We also speak up for everyone. And we did it the most with our vote. And even though Black people are saying this is not our fight, we're sitting this out, we're doing all these things like resting, there are several ways Black people are showing up by not supporting Starbucks, by not supporting Target, by not supporting any company that put out D&I, by boycotting, by using our voice like I do. There's so many ways that Black people still will always show up for ourselves in this country. And when we show up for ourselves, guess who benefits? Everyone else. Reach out to your fellow Asians. Reach out to your Middle Eastern Arab people. Reach out to the large Russian population that's in LA. The Armenians, the Persians. There's so many immigrant groups that live in this city, but you want to single out Black people. Can't win them all. Ciao.
Or any of them, apparently. We are just like human rage rooms. Just anybody want to vent, come at us. And that is despite the fact, as he just outlined, that we are, 12% of the population? Yet here we sit with all this conversation.
And another thing, why y'all not asking white people to the front lines? They are the ones who are the least likely to get hurt, injured, killed, or thrown in jail. Why y'all not asking them to come to the front line? Why y'all not asking undocumented people of European descent who have a bone in this fight, right? Because they can identify. They're here under the same pretenses as you. They are undocumented. Why y'all not asking them to come to the front lines? LA is full with a diverse population of people. So many different type of Asians there, Filipinos, Koreans. Why y'all not asking them to come to the front line? Hell, why y'all not asking all the different type of Hispanics to come to the front line? Latinos, like the Cubans, Venezuelans, Colombians. Why y'all not calling them out? Especially the Cubans, because y'all know how they move. Why y'all not asking them to the front lines, huh? Why automatically does everyone think that they are old Black people bodies, Black people voices? Why do y'all always, the first step in anything is to say, where are the Black people's at? Why y'all don't have that same energy for every other race of people, as if Black people haven't been doing this shit for over 400 years, protesting and fighting for our rights? We are tired. What do y'all not understand about that? We are fucking exhausted, okay? We asked y'all to vote correctly in November. We showed up and showed out 92% of Black women, 80+% of Black men. Why y'all not asking everybody else? I don't understand it, okay? The world is so anti-Black and hateful towards us, but y'all have no problem asking us for our bodies, our voices, for us to be shields in protest for you to gain. And everybody always gains off the backs of black bodies and then leave us behind. We are betrayed at every turn, right? But y'all still have the audacity, the fucking unmitigated gall to ask us again and again, you're wrong. All of y'all are wrong. First is the white people saying, where are the black people? Now it's the Hispanics. How about y'all get together? Okay? The same white people who were asking where the black people is, y'all go out there and fight and stand up for the Hispanics, because y'all overwhelmingly voted for this. Y'all voted for a 34-time convicted felon. 34-time convicted felon to run and lead our country, right? And then a civil offense, a minor offense such as being undocumented. Y'all got all this militarized force for those people. That is wrong. Something is wrong with y'all. This world is anti-black, it's hateful, and it's ass backwards. Y'all need to do better. Y'all stop calling us out. Y'all call everybody else the fuck in and stop calling us out. Please and thank you.
Now that was a word. And during the course of listening to her, I just had to think about discussing this with the level of humanity that I try and employ regularly, as I employed last year, which dictated my stance on this humanitarian issue and continues to, despite what I was told about our fitness to lead when trying to prevent this. Despite what I was told about the fitness and how people see our capabilities in November, I have to acknowledge and report on the consequences of people who voted for this, largely to dunk on people like me trying to prevent it and continue to have a level of humanity, respect, and empathy. The kind of thing that we were not afforded. Now, as far as what she said about undocumented people of European descent, that was huge. She mentioned the Asian community, which was something that I noted earlier as well. But she opened up with white people. It is curious that white people continue to escape any level of accountability about any of this.
I have been struggling on how to say this. And I made a video earlier, I took it down, but y'all are focusing on the wrong people. Y'all are focusing on why don't black people care what Trump is doing? We do. But we're focusing on us and ourselves to survive through this. What y'all need to be focused on instead of, well, why aren't black people actively protesting and doing all the things that they usually do? One, because we told you we're not going to do that anymore. Okay, we told you. Y'all didn't listen. Two, because we can't help you as much as the people you need to help you. Okay? You need white people. You're focusing on black people, you need to focus on white people. You need to get their attention, their compassion, their empathy, their social and political power. You're focused on the wrong people. You're focused on the wrong demographic. Black people don't make up the vast majority of this country. We don't make up the vast majority of politicians. We are not in the White House. I'm telling you, you need to focus on white people and getting them to actively care and campaign and protest in your name, in your favor, and leave black people alone.
And you have to wonder, just as I do when we have a lot of these MAGA discussions, right, where people will criticize things that the administration is, like the farmers will criticize the things that the administration is doing, but keep Trump nice, safe, and secure. Yeah, and in his precious little, in case of emergency, break open glass, or maybe it's one of those faulty phone cases that I'm sure they're about to churn out from China. Y'all keep him safe, secure, and protected from your criticism, even when criticizing things that he has done and decisions that he has made. We always find somebody else to point to, whether it's Elon Musk or whether it's, I don't know, Pete Hegseth or Kristi Noem, whatever the case may be. Generally, it's Democrats, right? But here, in this case, where it is clear the demographic that could have been most helpful continues to escape any level of accountability, not only for the way that they moved in November, but the way a lot of them continue to move and operate. The hateful rhetoric that was apparent to us all of last year, well, that ain't changed.
Some Latin and Arab folks are mad with the black community because the black community doesn't want to protest any of their causes. And with all this chaos that is happening due to the Trump administration, the only thought that I have is, what a fucked up way to find out that you ain't white. It was y'all that needed the DEI programs. All this time, you thought black people were lazy. Turns out they were resisting oppression. They were fighting for you for the whole fucking time, and they're taking a break. So leave them alone. They fought for you by voting no for Trump.
Yeah. No, it wasn't just to vote no for Trump. You could go all the way back to the civil rights movement and beyond that when it comes to fighting for you. Yeah, they've been out there. Ain't been no card or nothing sent. I ain't seen nothing.
Y'all want black people to protest. Y'all want us to petition. Y'all want us to march. Where were the votes? Where were y'all at in November? Because that's really all we needed from you. That's all we asked of you. Where are the votes? You want us to march? Why don't you march your ass to them polls and vote for Kamala? Every marginalized group want black people to fight. When are we going to win? I'm tired of just fighting for everybody else to win. When do we get the W? Because this funny thing happens. Every time we get out there and start fighting for everybody else gets the W. They get to take home the trophy. They get to take home the ring. But black people just get stuck with the fight. So let's try it the other way. How about y'all fight and we take home the trophy and the ring and the W? How about that? Y'all spent a year and a half singing and dancing. I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all sitting up there shaking shoulders and shit. And now your rights being taken away. Now you're getting kicked out of a country that you came here in the right way. You came here the right way. Y'all, a lot of y'all are going through the correct process. Y'all are actually doing what you're supposed to do, and you're still getting kicked out. It's not the system, it's the person. You voted this person in, and now you're suffering the consequences. I really ain't got too much sympathy, mainly because all of this shit was avoidable. All you had to do was vote. That's all you had to do. But you decided to do the fool and vote for your boy, and now here we are. So you either wait your 3.5 years and we try it again, or next year during midterm elections, you can get the right people in Congress that'll actually make a move for you, because representation in there, they ain't doing shit but what that man says. So unless you decide to vote blue, you're going to have to get out. You're going to get flued out the country.
Now, you didn't have to say flued out. You didn't have to say flued. You was cooking a little bit, and then you went with flued out like it's Clarence Thomas with some right-wing donor. Now, he talked about when do we get the W, and it really does feel like we are the Washington Wizards of society. Like I 100% echo that sentiment. But as we project forward, which he did, it is important and significant that we build the coalition in order to rectify to the best that is possible. Okay, we might be cleaning up like the aftermath of Cabrini Green. I don't know. We're going to have to do the best we can to try and move forward. But in order to do that, we have to be honest in coalition building about each member of that coalition. And victimizing one particular group, especially when they overwhelmingly tried to stand in the way of what is happening, does not lead one towards cooperative effort. Let's just say that. Let's just say, you know, when you pick a 34-time felon over my job at Costco, I would be mad. You picked a 34-time felon to lead the country. Talking about because of the economy when he got bankruptcies. Like when you do that, you know what I mean? You might not want to blame that specific group for not standing up for you when she was trying to.
I've been seeing a lot of hate towards Black Americans on this app these past few days, especially with these LA riots that's going on, and the Mexicans that are coming on here talking about, oh, the Black folks, they're not doing nothing, they're just staying quiet. Where's the Black rappers, celebrities, movie stars? Ma'am, that's your answer right there. You want Black people to come and fight for your cause, and your cause is irrelevant to them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Your cause is irrelevant to them. Where's the Selena Gomez's, Hayek's, Mexican people of influence you have? George Lopez's, all of them. Where are they? They're at their homes because they believe in the same shit we're all believing in. Immigration is a big thing and it needs to be taken care of. There's no reason why you guys are coming on this internet getting mad at Black folks because they want to sit back. Now that they're sitting back, making videos that they're sitting back, and you guys are jumping online showing how racist you really are. Racist as fuck, bro. Like, I'm not saying all the Chicanos are racist because I have Mexican family, Mexican friends. I'm from a Mexican town. I love my Mexican people. But I experienced the racism firsthand. You know that joke when George Lopez said Mexicans don't let their daughters date Black guys? And everybody was on the internet talking about it's true, it's not true, blah, blah, blah. Trust me. Being from a Mexican town, bro, the girls love Black men and the Black men love the Mexican girls. And the girls will always tell us, we got to keep this on the low. My parents can't find out I'm dating a Black guy. I'm like, what do you mean? My parents don't let us date Black guys. That basically, that's what they told us. But they love the Black American culture. They love the music. They love the clothes. They love the food. But a lot of them are starting to sound like Black Americans. Me, I'm Haitian, and I'm not afraid to tell you, I love Black Americans. I love the Black American culture. I moved out of my small farm town, which is filled with Mexicans, Haitians, and a little bit of Black folks. I'm living in a bigger city where there's a lot more Black folks. And I love the culture. Every week there's something new to do. There's always something new to learn. The people are great. The people are great. I'm not understanding where all this negativity is coming from.
Now, that was a whole lot. As far as his assertion that the issue was irrelevant to them, it could be irrelevant to some, or some people could think it's irrelevant to them. I think that when it comes to violating people's constitutional rights, right? When it comes to things like due process and habeas corpus, I think that everybody should pay attention. I think it's relevant to everybody. It's specifically and immediately relevant to you, which is why I would expect you to move differently. But we're here now, okay? To your point about immigration, right? Yes, the immigration system absolutely needed significant overhaul. That's not the issue. Even Kamala Harris said that. It is the way in which they are going about this mass deportation. It is the inhumanity that people are opposed to, and it is the inhumanity that was something that she called out for months. It was the inhumanity that was apparent to all of us that was ignored. That is what we are talking about. And I would also say that is also something that will eventually be relevant to everybody when, I don't know, you place a person like that in charge of everybody. Well done. Now, to that whole thing about the anti-Blackness that is evident in a lot of different Latino communities, we could have concluded that based on 2024 now, couldn't we? But even aside from that, because certainly prior to that and certainly since then, we've heard a lot from the Latino community themselves about the anti-Blackness.
Some of the Latino support for Trump was a vote against the prospect of the first Black female president.
There's still a lot of machismo. There's still a lot of misogyny. And something that we need to say aloud is there's a lot of anti-Blackness.
Are y'all ready to talk about it? And with that being the case, I don't know how you could, in the immediate aftermath of what just happened, ever point a finger at what Black people are and aren't doing. That's crazy. And In public. In public.
African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
Oh, we're going to have to address that. Yeah. I'll be back. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. As I mentioned on last Tuesday night's live, I try and avoid any vigorous exercise or anything that will cause me to lose my enhancements. No, I didn't mean that. I meant the other thing. But while we're on the topic, y'all stay safe out here. This ain't the same sun that we grew up with.
I did not sign up for this. When I prayed during the winter months, I asked the Lord to make it warm. I did not say, Lord, please bring the devil from hell and have him sit his ass crack on earth. That's not what I asked for.
As I mentioned on last Tuesday night's live, I am a bit of a perfectionist and I have a tendency to tinker with videos until they're ready to go out to the public. But that means there's so much content that you guys haven't gotten a chance to see. So for you members, I'm going to start pushing out director's cuts of some of my videos. So be on the lookout for a new flood of content. I just love you. There is a link to membership in the description box to all of the videos. And that also will be the case for those of you that have joined my Patreon over at patreon.com/Reese Waters. Now, so many of you guys sent me so many incredible cuts of music for me to integrate into my videos, and I have started doing that. So keep your ear out for some new music, and sincere thank you to everybody for being a part of this community and making it everything that it has become. And while we're on the topic, I want to give a very special shout out to Goshen, who's been making it rain in all of the premieres. A sincere debt of gratitude to you. It kind of reminds me of when we reached 400,000 subscribers and we had that live and Jackie James and Nancy made it rain that whole time. And we're creeping pretty close to another milestone now, aren't we? Yeah, 500, 50%. Yeah, that's always been special to me because when I was a teenager, when I would go out and get a phone number, it was a 50% chance that it was a real home. Or like a gas station or the library or something like that. Those were the days.